Every single international body organization that goes down there talks about negotiations. We know what La République thinks about negotiations. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this because Karen Bass just came from the territory. Mm-hmm. And that was her answer. And I'm beginning to think, do these people even want to be part of this conversation? I mean, for how many years have they been talking about negotiation? Can we initiate negotiations?
No, they have to say it. You can't blame them for saying it. They have to say it because even the First World War ended with the Germans negotiating to give up their territory, and that is why we have this problem today, right? So you can't blame them for talking about negotiations. The problem is that what they are not doing is holding La République to make sure that La République organizes or La République allows those the United States or whoever is volunteering to be partner to see these negotiations happen. La République is not creating the atmosphere for those negotiations to happen, and that is what Mr. Fominin talked about. They are not creating that. But
I don't want to go. Let's not talk about what La République is not doing. I'm talking about what the international community is not doing. The international community, just like we've talked about them giving us two alternatives with conditions that were all written down. They wrote to us that if you vote to join La République, you have 2 states. You only have these 8 items to share. Otherwise, you keep your money, you keep your government, you keep your economy, you run everything else except national defense, telecommunication, and a few others that I don't remember here. And they failed. International law says there are human right violations which, if you violate, you lose your sovereignty. And I was hearing that the threshold number to cross is 500,000 displaced people. We have passed that a long time ago. They've burned over 200 and something villages. They've murdered people left and right. We've reported them. And the international community has refused to apply the law. That is what they've refused. It's not their role is not to come and tell La République, negotiate with them. No, their role is now to let the laws kick. It's the same as in Rwanda. They allowed close to 1 million people massacred, and they would not say genocide. Now they can run the word genocide left and right with Rwanda. So there's a neglect. There's a double standard going on, and I think we should be emphasizing on that. So the Congressional Black Caucus going down there and coming back and say, the 2 sides should get together. That they could have just as well not gone down there.
No, well, it's not the Congressional Black Caucus. It's the head of the Congressional Black Caucus, along with other members of Congress, like Mr. Kind. What you just said what I said, but in another words. What I said was, what the international community has an obligation to do is to force La République to do the things that you just described.
No, they need to come in, but they need to. I don't know.
Whether they are coming in, but they have to do something. They cannot be asking us to go and negotiate with the person who is persecuting us.
Yes.
They have to. That is what I'm saying. They have a responsibility to follow those international norms that you just described. If they don't want to do that, they can sanction La République and tell La République, hey, you have. The United Nations have sent. They wanted to send fact-finding missions in there. La République blocked it. They didn't do anything. This organization will try. La République will block it. They don't do anything. These Karen Bass, Sessenbringer, Representative Kind, and the others went down there. They were blocked in Yaoundé. They didn't do anything about it. So these things cannot be happening.
So are we left in the mercy? We are in the hands of La République to decide what happens?
No, well, we are.
There's no international law.
What we are saying is that these people have to do the things that you have described. They cannot come and sit here and tell us that let us do everything possible for this thing to happen. No, it's not going to happen. You have to do what you are obliged by international law and international norms to do. It is not up to us. We were sitting home, our people were sitting home, and they came out and they said, this is what is bothering us. And as usual, every single time, this government sent its troops, they went out and killed our people. And as usual, the international community was silent. They were silent. They said the Republic can do as it wants. Until we said we have had enough of this thing, our boys said we've had enough of this thing, we're not going to take it anymore. Then you come here now and you're telling us, let us just negotiate without preconditions.
Pa, let me add something. The reason why they're dragging their feet is because the influence of France is there. When the interest of France was being challenged in Cote d'Ivoire by the Ivorians, they labeled Gbagbo clinging to power. Within a few years, they brought in the UN, which they turned into French armies, and they kicked out Gbagbo. So we know the game the international community is playing, and they really need to stop playing it, because we need to call it out. You know what I'm saying? We need to call it out that they are protecting the interests of France. They are not. I don't believe that France can stop all this, but we are going to continue, because you know what? At some point, just like in South Africa, the people in America, I'm going to talk about the United States, the people in the United States decided that it doesn't matter what Ronald Reagan said, South Africa will end, and it ended. So we just need to double our effort and bypass the governments, go to the citizens. The citizens are going to make their governments work, because they actually have a government that represents their people. In La République, the government represents France, and so they can murder all of us. They can murder all the population in La République. In fact, they murder. I'm not only saying Ambazonia. They can murder all the people in Ambazonia and the people in La République, and France will even be better off, because they don't even have to do anything to come and get the resources that they get. That is the extreme of what it is. Because Paul Biya has been there for I'm stopped counting, but it's because he's serving the interests of the West very well. That's why he's there. So let's not be playing these games. If they want to go down there and actually solve something, they should. But don't come. The woman, the head of the UN Human Rights went down there. I even started accusing the Ambazonians for burning their own villages, when BBC has produced documents showing how it is these neo-colonial French troops that go and burn villages. So let's stop deceiving our people. But like Wiba said, until we are all killed, we will not stop resisting. I think at some point we should call it the way it is.
No, we have to call it the way it is, and remind all the international players and people like Karen Bass and Sessenberger and Ron Kine and all those people who have shown a real interest in our struggle, because somebody like Ron Kine comes from a different angle. And they have said this is their first time, but it will not be their last time going down there. What we have to remind them, because they said it is on both sides. Okay? That is my problem. That both sides. They forget to know that when we went out with the peace plans that you have described and others have described, the Republic came out with guns.
These guns are given to them by France, by the United States, by the China. They buy guns everywhere. They sell them to them. For us, they've even blocked the border. You know, if La Republic had its way, they'll block the border so that our people shouldn't even escape into Nigeria. Yes, and now they come and say, I mean, what kind of... It's like, let me, you know, sometimes you have to come to the West to know how the West behaves, okay? In the West, technically, they have decided that a white person can discriminate a minority. You know what I'm saying? But a minority cannot really discriminate a white person, because racism, they've incorporated that racism is racism if you can discriminate somebody and actually inflict a pain on them. If you can just say, I don't like this person, I cannot inflict any pain, it's not racism. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we may be fighting back, and we're fighting back with sticks and stones, but you cannot come and say that you cannot come and, I think we've already argued in several shows. You cannot come and say that, oh, it's violence on both sides. That is a curb out. That is a curb out. You better not saying anything about struggle and just leave us know that there's no help, or that there's no international anything that we should be depending on. But you should also always remember that when the West did not intervene in our land, there's no way Paul Biya can come from a wonderland and come and take the life or the property of a barefoot man. I can tell you that, and he will know that.
I think
it's the international community that came and empower him to be doing this thing, and then right now they're saying, "Oh, we have no control over him, so please stop the war, negotiate with him." For 2.5 years, you've been saying the same thing, and nothing has changed. I can tell you what. In any corporation here, any CEO who behaves the way Paul Biya is behaving, he will not still have that job. And Paul Biya is your corporate servant. And you've allowed him, you've armed him to the teeth, and you allow him to kill our people. When there's a bogus offer out there by him to play you and give cover for everybody, then you see when Bo Herbert says the US, the UN, the EU, and the other ones that he mentioned, that they're commissioners, is because those are people who came out and they're like, yeah, I hope everybody joins Switzerland with the deal. And they know that's a bogus deal. But they're looking for cover so that they don't do anything.
No, but he is saying that after the fact. But let's stick with Karen Bass, because there are things that I hope that she understands. One of the things that she talked about was the fact that the people in the Northwest and the Southwest, as she puts it, don't accept the aid from the government because they are afraid of the separatists.
That's a lie.
Yeah,
that's not true.
But that is what she was told in Yaoundé.
These are people. Look, let me tell Madame Karen Bass that La République goes and burns crop. Our people have plenty of food. They save food for every season. La République send their troops. They go and bring these troops from where they store them, burn them. They burn them.
Now, so man to a backside. You see the way they move the thing, them boss, and the one day no bonfire. You see
They go into the field. They burn crops that have been farmed for the next season. So they're trying to starve us off our land. They go and kill live animals that are people use for food and to make money.
So when they become the first way they become where they for carry for a place where they go money for life today. When they become at the cook shop seller. So maybe even also they become one just see motor just stand. So people then so one they be wrong. So when they not be feel wrong because they not be people ready to be inside house. They not be feel wrong because they not be no say something will happen. So they become meter palm, they beat the one the way they reach meter palm, they throw me chop, broke my cooler then, broke my pan then we run now. That store the way they open, they enter inside, they thief them very well. Then thief mix, take kerosene, turn inside rice so people that they sell them, turn thing them, nyama thing them, then that one the boko go. As the boko go now, we can now go house with the fear we get them. So if you sleep for us, we don't know the one way go come for night.
So these people are out to destroy us. If you're pretending that you're not seeing, then that information is flooded anywhere. And if you want, just call one of us and we'll provide you with all that evidence. So no, our people can farm. Our people have never begged. In fact, our people know that they don't trust the food La République is being, because if somebody kills your 4 months old, are you going to take something from them and eat? Would you even want to meet them to take something from them and eat? I mean, look, we're also humans, exactly as human as you are.
So the problem, and I think one of our citizens articulated it very well in an audio. There was a lady that called from Douala doing a census or whatever they were doing from the World Food Program. That's what it was.
I remember that call.
Yes, and the guy told the lady exactly that, let me tell you, we don't need food. That's what he said. We don't need food. Our people don't need food. I don't know if these people, they listen at all. And that is something that Madame Karen Bass needs to know. We don't need food. We don't need your food. We are self-sufficient. Our people are self-sufficient. Ask La République to pull out of our land today. and the next day see what will happen in that place.
Well, I was going to say that we are the people providing food to La Republique, which is
Yes.
just what you said. We provide food to La Republique, we provide food to Gabon, we provide food to the whole of that sub-region, Ambazonia.
So we don't need your food. We have food. And for the past how many years, we have been surviving. We don't need your food. We need you to ask La Republique and its soldiers to leave our territory, and we will be self-sufficient. So we don't need you to bring any food or bring anything to us. And that gentleman clearly said it. I don't know if it reached you, but we'll try to get it to you. So you should understand that we don't need food, any food item. We need an end to the occupation by La Republique. That's all we need.
I just want to add that let's put in perspective what the mind of the Ambazonian is so that the international community can understand that. After slavery, there was colonization. That colonization for us continues till today. We have suffered colonization from the Germans, from the British, and from the French. In fact, what the French are frustrated about is that for 50-something years, they haven't turned us into French stooges. That's their biggest frustration. That's the reason why they wanted to start educating our children right from the stomach. But even that, they will not succeed. So we have never been able to govern ourselves. We have either been governed by the British using Nigerians to come and steal from our land, or the French using the citizens of La Republique to come and steal from our land. It is interesting to know that immediately when the British pulled out, the citizens of La Republique came in. The first thing they did was they stole equipment from our territory. They stole all our land grading, all our road grading equipment. They stole it right across the border. Then they went to our technical schools and stole all the heavy equipment. They went to Ombe, stole all the big heavy equipment, downgraded the school. So we have been a colony of colonies. We've been a colony of Nigeria, which was a colony of Britain. We are now a colony of La République du Cameroon, which is a colony of France. We are tired. And this is the last stand we have taken, that you either kill all of us and take our land, or we are finally going to get our freedom like everybody else has had their freedom. We were never created by God to come and be the farmland of our neighbors, or our resources available to everybody else but not us. We have decided that this last revolt is it. And so this message does not only go to the international community, it should also go to Bo Herbert and his surrogates who have already sold a lot of their own humanity and are now ready to placate the next but another worse Fumban on us. It's not going to happen. But there's another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm reflecting something that I also read from somebody who said that part of the reason why the international community keeps saying that, let's let them negotiate and then bring peace back to Cameroon, is that they don't understand our history, because somehow they think that these problems only started from 2016. From the teachers and the lawyers strike. Can you help explain so that even good people like Ron Klein, I listened to Ron Klein's press conference, and he said the same thing, so that we bring peace back to Cameroon. No, we are not looking for. We want peace in Cameroon as our neighbor, but they can only be our neighbor. Now we can never be their citizen again, because if America or Ron Klein or anybody else were an Ambazonian, they will not accept. They will not accept. So nobody should be recommending to us what they will not have for themselves and their families and their children. Explain, Pa, why it is and why our case did not start from 2016, and why it is not fair for anybody to say that we should remain part of La République du Cameroun.
No, I think we have done a wonderful job explaining that. I don't think that there are individuals like Ron Klein and Karen Bass and all the other people that we are trying to reach out to. They are individuals that might not understand our case. But the countries and the institutions, like the United Nations, the African Union, the European Union, all of these institutions who are world players, they understand our problem. They know the problem did not start today. The problem is that we are now recruiting individual citizens and representatives like Karen Bass and Sensenberger and Ron Kine to come out and put pressure on these institutions and their various countries to go and address the root problems or the root causes of this problem.
Okay, having said that, let me ask you, do you know why people are fighting a certain resolution going through Congress right now where we are defined as being part of La République du Cameroon?
Well,
are you aware of that particular debate going on?
I am aware of the particular debate going on. And what I'm going to, since you've asked me that, I am going to say this. In that resolution condemns La République for the actions and what La République has been doing. I believe in the process. Whether people understand how the process works or not, or people want some legislator in the United States to go and legislate our independence in the United States Congress, that is not going to happen. So anybody can take whatever approach. I believe in the process, and the process is what? It is educating and winning over people so that they understand how to articulate our issues. We have this group mentality, this group thinking. Somebody puts out something there and people just pick it up and they start calling and they don't even. I will give you a very good example.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a conference call with one gentleman, I think it was on Friday, and he was so mad and pissed. He was going to travel to California because the Karen Bass law firm had emailed the Salai law firm about a hearing that she was going to have on criminal reform and terrorism and all those kind of things. And I'm trying to tell this guy that this woman is holding a hearing about her constituency, California. And Sila law firm might be one of those constituents. It is not about the Ambazonian case. And people will not listen. Because people think that every single thing that Karen Bass is doing now, it's all about putting us in a box. That kind of group thinking does not support and it does not help what we are doing. You have to live to fight another day. And you have to be able to contact these people and leave hoping that when you come back and knock at the door, they will open the door again for you to come in and have a conversation with them.
So you don't think that that the concern that the U.S. Congress is defining Ambazonia as part of La République now would undermine the independent efforts of Ambazonia?
It is not, because I just said it. The independence of Ambazonia is not going to be legislated in the U.S. Congress.
No, but when I listen to that, here's what I hear: that we'll have to fight La République, and if we need American help or their neutrality, we'll have to fight them again because their law says Ambazonia is part of La République. That's what these people are fighting.
No, let me explain this.
Yes.
And that resolution 358 that is going to Congress is not binding on anything. It is not law.
Okay.
It is just a statement. And people need to understand that. It is a statement that these congressional people are putting out, that this is what we think. It is, Karen Bass came, we just left from here, or we just discussed a while ago, what some of the things that she does not understand.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to always look at the big picture. This thing is incremental.
Let me say something here.
And this is the last I'm going to say on this.
Yes.
This guy, Patrice Nganga, came out the other day on his video
Mm-hmm.
and said the word genocide has never been used in the same sentence with Cameroon. You are smiling now.
Yes, because genocide has happened there.
Okay, that word has never been used on the same sentence with Cameroon. Is it being used now? the Senator Durbin from Illinois, he was on the United States Senate floor doing exactly that. Do you know how long it has taken? Ron Kine talked about how one senator, every single day for 20 years, he went to the United States single floor trying to get the United States to ratify a law on
genocide.
On genocide for 20 years.
Yes, and it finally came through.
This thing is a process. I'm telling this story so that our people should understand. This thing that we think that everything has to happen overnight is killing us, and it's killing some of the partners that we want to work with. You and I might not be the one to finish this fight, but let us do our best so that when we hand over to the next people, they will easily continue from where we left off instead of going to start again from the bridges that we burnt in our effort to get what we want the next day.
Yeah, I would say that we're not trying to burn bridges. I think the people who are working with us, first is part of their job, and secondly, they should look at it as people who are losing relatives and crying out for help. But I think one of the reasons why they are very sensitive in this, remember that it was non-profit organizations that started writing, because of their own funding, they started writing that, oh, there's violence on both sides. It's non-profit organizations that started writing that now you see senators entering them as part of bills. That's what people are responding to, because they use these terms loosely. Before you notice, everybody picks it up and then start writing it before you see it starts making law. I think that's well, where the concern is coming from.
See, I think what we have to be honest to ourselves. There are certain things that we might not want to accept, but they are reality. And I will just leave it at that.